I'll be the first to admit there's a lot I don't know about the world. I'd argue that I don't know most things, actually, but one thing I'm no stranger to is starting over. Throughout my 20s, I've moved between cities, moved between countries, made friends, lost friends, changed careers, changed my mind more times and about more things than I could possibly count. And every time I start over with everything I do know, things go exponentially better than before, which is why starting over doesn't scare me anymore, and also why I've decided to, in a sense, start over here on this channel. Because sometimes all you need is a clean slate. I'm not starting a new channel altogether. When I say I am starting over, what I mean is I just feel a need to declutter and revamp and reset my approach to this channel, and I don't feel that I can do that mentally until I declutter and revamp and fully reset the digital space in which this channel exists. So if you were to go to my channel page right now, you would see that a majority of my existing videos are no longer accessible there. I have put them onto private mode, haven't deleted them completely. They may come back at some point if I'm feeling good about them, or rather if I'm feeling good about where this channel stands. But for now they are on private mode. I do have a select few old videos that I'm particularly proud of that I have aggregated into a playlist called The Archive, which feels very on brand for me. But this channel is really the only thing in my life that hasn't gotten a hard reset since its inception 5 years ago. And while I didn't want to lose all of that work and I didn't want to ask anybody to go and subscribe to something entirely new, I have been feeling a bit lost with regards to this channel, what I'm making, how, why. Especially over the past 2 years, I've been feeling very lost in this experience. So I think it's high time that I ground myself and my intentions for this channel going forward, and the best way to do that for me right now is to wipe the slate clean and start with a bit of a reintroduction, because I'm very much not the same person that I was when I started this channel 5 years ago, and it's really important to me to be open and honest and authentic with you about who I am as a person. So hi, I'm Liz, and this is my YouTube channel. Since I'm definitely not a newbie to the booktube or authortube space, I really didn't want to co-opt the booktube and authortube newbie tags and redo those when I've already done them years ago when I first joined the platform. But I still want some structure for this little reintroduction of who I am and what this space is, or if this is the first of my videos you're seeing, just a plain introduction. Hi, welcome. So I've kind of merged and then distilled some of the questions from both of those tags to sort of provide a bit more context and a bit more detail and information in a way that would best suit my current situation as a non-newbie who is kind of starting over in the space. So the first question is, why did you start this channel and what can we expect from you in this channel? In the interest of full transparency, there are kind of two reasons as to why I started this channel. There's the original reason from 5 years ago when I first started this channel, and then there's the reason why I'm now choosing to kind of reset things. My original intention for starting this channel 5 years ago was to attempt to build an audience that I could then tap into when I eventually launched my career as a novelist. This is a combination booktube, authortube, I write. And it's definitely not the most altruistic of motivations for starting a YouTube channel, but for as long as I have had the career goals of writing novels professionally, the industrial financial backing of artists has been largely dependent on prior proven ability to hold an audience. In other words, publishers want you to have a following before they'll sign you. Not always, but it is more and more being shown to be the case. Again, I know this is not the most innocent or altruistic of reasons, but it is the true reason, and quite frankly, I'm inclined to believe that anybody who starts an authortube without this intention of building an audience is lying to you. There may be other intentions in there, but that is always going to factor in. But what I've realized about myself in the past few years is that I'm not just a writer, I am a storyteller. Like, that's my core motivation for almost everything that I do, is I just want to tell stories. That is what drives my passion and my authorship aspirations. And storytelling can take so many mediums. Visual video is just one of those mediums, just like writing is one of those mediums for storytelling. And I've had so much fun learning how to be a storyteller in this particular medium, and I want to continue to grow in this medium, in this space. I want to continue to use this to share stories, my own, other people's, fictional, true. I want to tell stories that resonate with you all, that we can all grow and build community around and through. So that's kind of where this reset is coming from. It's motivated by authenticity, or the desire for authenticity, really. Community, relationships, and growth in storytelling. So the next question, just to give you guys a bit of context as to who I am in my reading and writing life and some of my history, is when did you start reading and when did you start writing? And I've been a reader for as long as I can remember. I grew up right down the street from my local library. I used to spend like entire summers there. I was one of those kids who got special permission in like the 5th grade to access the YA section at the middle school library that was supposed to be reserved for 8th graders. I know, she's special, she's cool. I was not a dork or a loser at all growing up in middle school. I was one of those kids who I used to get in trouble for reading under my desk during class. So I think that tells you everything you need to know about who I was at 13. And then I did not 1 but 2 whole degrees on books. I did my undergrad in creative writing, and then I moved to Glasgow to pursue a master's degree in archives and library science. And some of that journey is still available to you through my archive playlist, which, again, this is why the title of that playlist is very on brand. As for writing, does it count if I was too young to actually know how to write out words, and so I just drew pictures and then dictated the story to my mother to have her write out the story on the pictures that I drew and then stapled them together because I was like 3? And also, does it count if every single one of those stories was just Cinderella? I don't think it counts, but that's what I was doing. I've also been told, and I was too young to be able to even remember this, but I've been told that as a child I used to just pace back and forth and talk to myself, and if an adult asked what I was doing, my answer every single time was that I was telling myself a story. Do I remember any of the stories that I would tell myself? Fuck no. But I am glad that they were checking in, because I think I would be concerned if my toddler just started pacing very seriously and talking to themselves. You know, in retrospect, definitely not something to be concerned about, but just I feel like the visuals of that are a little bit concerning. Regardless, no one should be surprised that I've ended up where I am. In terms of actually writing as a craft, though, I started writing fan fiction before I knew what fan fiction was. I had a very sheltered childhood. I wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob or other Nickelodeon shows. I wasn't very much on the internet, but I did have my books, and I had my characters and the worlds that they were living in, and so I just started writing my own stories for those characters and their worlds, and that is fan fiction. Even before you knew that there was a community, even before you knew it existed, that other people were doing this, I was writing fan fiction, and then expanded onto original short stories in high school and college, and just after I finished undergrad is when I fully drafted my first full novel, which, God willing, will never see the light of day. Over COVID, I took a break from authorship, actually, because it was COVID and it was a lot, and I was having a very hard time creatively and motivationally to write. So I kind of took like a 2-year hiatus from writing, and then in 2022, early 2022, came back to it with a vengeance, and then had to take a break again because I was writing a dissertation for my master's degree. And not too long after I finished that, I became good friends with my now flatmate, who was doing her master's degree in creative writing and who had formed this little writing critique group with some of her classmates and some of their friends, and she invited me in, and so now that's my critique group as well, and I'm absolutely loving the community of that. The inspiration and the motivation that brings is just unmatched. And the last question I want to touch on from the combination of these two tags is, what are some fun and unique things that you think you can bring to BookTube and AuthorTube? I have tried to reset this channel over the past couple of years by going back to basics and just focusing on like bog standard reading wrap-ups, book shopping vlogs, very basic reviews. It hasn't gone well. That's why I'm going for a hard reset this time. Those were kind of like soft resets. This is more of a hard reset. And like I said, this is going to be all about storytelling and community engagement and personal growth as a reader, as a writer, and as a member of the BookTube AuthorTube community. When it comes to the BookTube side of things, I'm constantly pushing myself to diversify what I'm reading. I want to explore new subjects and new authors and make sure that the books that I'm picking up are representative of the world around me and not just my part in it. In other words, I'm doing my best to not only consume content by artists who look like me across all mediums. So I'm hoping that this channel can act as a reminder and a place to encourage that sort of diversity in reading, to share and uplift diverse voices, and to share stories that resonate with a wide array of people. And one of the things that I love to do on the AuthorTube side of things is to experiment with my craft. I love exploring different genres, different methods of writing, and I know that I am a plotter at my core, like a hardcore plotter. But I love looking at other authors' approaches to the craft itself and experimenting with those approaches to see what works for me and what doesn't, and how I can potentially evolve in my approach. I started a series here a while back, and again, a few of those videos are in my archives playlist called Writing Like the Greats, where I spend roughly 4 to 5 days to up to a week following the writing routine of a famous author. Very often you'll find famous authors have talked about their writing routine, what their day-to-day looks like when they are writing, and I will just follow that routine for a few days and see what elements of Stephen King's writing routine or Leigh Bardugo's writing routine works for me, and whether somebody else's routine works for me or not. I mean, I have a routine myself that does work for me, but the way I see it, changing things up every once in a while is an opportunity for creativity, an opportunity to think and function in a different way. You can get so set and ingrained in your own routine, in your own ways. And when you open that up, even for just a few days at a time, you're opening yourself up to so much more possibility. And whether another person's routine works for me or not, I always end up learning something new about myself and my relationship with writing. And I think that really kind of covers the basics on what I'm doing here. This is who I am, why I started this channel in the first place, and why I'm choosing to hard reset it now, as well as what you can kind of expect to see here going forward. Again, if this is the first of my videos that you're seeing, welcome. I'm so happy that you are choosing to join me on this journey. Please go ahead and introduce yourself in the comments. I'm really looking forward to this being a safe and community space for, again, a wide array of people. And if you've been here before, if you are not new to this channel, go ahead and introduce yourself again, because quite frankly, I feel really disconnected from the community lately, and I would like to reconnect. And that's why I've chosen to reintroduce myself. So again, hi, I'm Liz. This is my BookTube AuthorTube channel, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait to bring more genuine, authentic storytelling and community building to this channel that I am really proud of, content that I'm proud of. I'm really excited for it. I'm excited to grow. So cheers to that, and I will sign off now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and again, introduce yourself in the comments. And I will talk to you next time. Peace out, Brussels sprouts.